before I even get started, fellas, click those links. No, I'm going to have links in the comment section. Click those links because how many times has Uncle JD been talking about situations where you got these bitches send these men up to get robbed, or worse, these men end up getting murdered in the process of a robbery attempt. So many times have I. Yep, I did. Now we got another one. No introduction required. Y'all see the title of tonight's video. Fellas, this right here is further proof why you should think with the head on your shoulders, not the head between your legs. And yeah, now you got these women out here being brazen as fuck. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. They know exactly that they're trying to set you up to get robbed. Nope, they trying to set you up to get robbed. Or worse, murdered. We talked about this shit, right? We have. And yes, the links will be in the comment section. And shout out to Jada Black. I'll also leave the link to his full video in the comment section as well. But enough of me talking. Let's get down to business here. The ultimate betrayal. Oklahoma man believes date orchestrated failed Christmas morning home robbery. They at it again. But enough of me talking. Let's get down to business, shall we?
What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's on it. I want to talk about this story out of Oklahoma. There was a man by the name of Arthur Jones who dealt with a setup. He brought, I guess, these two women to his home, and apparently these guys tried to rob him. They tried to break the door down to rob him. Everything is seen on his Ring camera, right? They weren't able to get in, but the big thing that came out of this is that it was orchestrated and set up by these two women. The reason why I say they orchestrated and set up, because when one of the girls comes out of the house, and you can see it on the Ring camera, she's directing them to go away. So you can see who's in control.
Yep. If she's doing all that, then you know for a fact that that they were in on it the entire time. And fellas, if Uncle JD has not said this, I'm gonna go ahead and say this shit now, because this type of shit been happening for decades. Yes, you got women out here who will set men up to get robbed, and oftentimes it ends up with these men getting murdered. And how many times I made videos like this? From the from that hotel robbery out in Tennessee, to the murder of one man out in Las Vegas in a robbery attempt, even the murder of another man out in New Orleans in a robbery attempt. The shit just keeps happening. But let's continue.
Now, these two women, they have not put these women's names out here. It's annoying, because these women are a danger to society, especially if they are let out, even though they're facing first-degree burglary. Now, the males who tried to break into this man's home have since gotten away, and these women are not cooperating. So therefore, they're in jail. But for how long? Which is why it's interesting why their names weren't released. How are the public going to help the police if you're withholding their names? I mean, these people could be released back into society. I don't know how withholding their names is going to help the case. It really doesn't. You need people, the public, to help you find who these men are. And if you're withholding names, how are people going to help you? This is my problem. And maybe it's not a police problem. It's probably more of a media problem because they don't want these women to be seen as what they are, criminals.
I wouldn't put it past them neither. If they doing all that shit and they do get released, how do we know that they won't pull that same stunt again? And again, and again. And we know for a fact that these two women are not underage. They are grown adult women. So there's really no reason at all as to why they shouldn't put their names out. But fellas, let Uncle JD say this shit up front. Because because this is an ongoing pattern that's been happening for months. So let me go ahead and say this shit. Fellas, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. And if they are too easy, question that shit. No, you heard Uncle JD correct. If it's way too easy, question it. As I said, a lot of these motherfuckers be thinking with the head between their legs, not the head on their shoulders. Plus there's two? No, not one, but two women here. And it's that easy, I'll be questioning everything. Now, we all played Super Mario before, right? We know about how if you hit a question mark, a mushroom appears, and Mario has to chase after the mushroom in order for him to grow, right? Okay, so how many of y'all played Super Mario The Lost Level? If you play Super Mario The Lost Level, you should know everything about the poison mushroom, right? On one end, you got the regular mushroom that allows Mario to grow, but in order to do that, you have to chase after that mushroom. Whereas in the Lost levels, if you hit a question mark and a poison mushroom appears, you have to run from it. Why? Because that poison mushroom will chase you to the ends of the earth, and if you get in contact with you, you die. And this is and let's use that same formula here. I mean, you could look at this dude's age. You could tell he wouldn't get women that easy. Let's just call a ball and a strike a strike. So you would be questioning how did he ended up in this situation? They were coming off too easy. And as Uncle JD said, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. Two women at once without any pushback, that's suspicious. But let's continue.
Just trust me, they put the homeowner's name out there, even though he's doing an on-camera interview. But they're quick to put his name out there, and any man let's say if it was just men who are robbing somebody and they got caught, their names are out there instantly. Why are you withholding these women's names? They are a danger to society,
Because they
especially if they are
stupid.
let out in the public.
Because they stupid.
Their mug shots are out there. Why aren't their names out there? Now their names out there, and I just haven't seen it because I've been looking. I haven't seen it. So let's get into this news story. I'm gonna play this news video.
Speaking out about the terrifying moment when several men tried breaking into his home on Christmas Day. News 4's Abigail Franklin has an update on the search.
Police say multiple men are still on the run after they tried to break into a Newcastle home early Christmas morning, and it was all caught on camera.
They were running back and forth in my front yard trying to figure out how they could penetrate or try to make the arrangements to get inside my house.
Arthur Jones describes the moment as terrifying when several guys tried to break into his home.
I had invited a lady friend to come to my residence and spend some time with me.
Let me go ahead and say this as well. Having a door camera is a good idea. I mean, as Uncle JD say, record everything. But you know what would be even better? No, don't just have a door camera. Have cameras everywhere around your house recording everything. No. Don't just have a doorbell camera. Have cameras everywhere. Recording everything. And Uncle JD's recommendation is don't just get a normal camera, get a camera with motion sensor detection. And I'll tell you why. With a motion sensor camera, the moment someone steps foot in your yard, that motion sensor will detect it and activate that camera. That way, it will only record any movement or activity around your yard, especially in situations like this. But that's just my suggestion. Let's continue.
And we're listening to music, watching videos, and having a few drinks.
But he says that woman and another were plotting to rob him the whole time. Watch as the women go in and out.
Look at that. Going in and out. She's standing at the door drinking.
Going in and out like a fast food restaurant. Now why are they going in and out of this man's house instead of sitting their asses down and enjoying themselves? More suspicion. Let's continue.
This is why you don't bring randoms to your house. If you want to go to a hotel, do that. Don't bring these helpers to your house, because in this situation, because I see people bringing up his age and saying, well, he's too old to be dealing with these young girls. That is true. But I can assure you,
man, nobody's trying to hear that shit, especially when you got cougars out here chasing after younger men, and these are the same retarded fucks that don't say shit about it. No one's trying to hear it.
That these women approached him, and it wasn't the other way around. These girls approached him, I believe, and he was a mark.
I believe the same thing too. And as I stated earlier, there's a pretty good chance that they approached him, and they were way too easy. Let it be any other woman, it would be a goddamn challenge to even get them to your house, right? Let it be any other woman, it will be a challenge. And on top of that, it's not just one, but two women. An even bigger challenge. But somehow, but somehow, but somehow, he managed to get both women to his house way too easy. That right there is suspicious. Let's continue.
And as you can see, these women are all in it. This is why they absolutely should be charged just as much as those guys are. So are going to be charged. Those guys are going to be charged. They should, all of them should face the same charges. And to botch this as much as they did. Because let me tell you something right now. You know what could have happened? That man, if you hear the video, the homeowner, he was going to get his weapon, do damage. As a matter of fact, I did a video a couple of years ago about a
Good move. Especially in a situation like this. And I tell these men out in the real world, if you got your own house, stay strapped. Because who knows when a gun is needed, especially in a situation like this when you got two women trying to set you up to get robbed in your own house. In fact, don't just have a gun in your house, stay strapped at all times because who knows what might happen. Let's continue.
female who tried to set up a guy that she was cool with, who was in town, tried to set him up to be robbed. She stood at the door. I guess he had a I guess you have like this door in between your door, right? So she's standing there, and he realized that these guys are running up to his door to rob him, and he just starts shooting, and she ends up losing her life, and they left her there to lose her life. They left her there. The things that these girls are willing to do to fit in, the things they're willing to do to prove themselves, this is why women are just as dangerous as men.
And to be honest, hearing that story, I don't feel bad for her neither. And I could give less of a fuck who gets triggered by what I just said. No, I don't feel bad for her. Her ass shouldn't be out there. Her ass shouldn't be out there trying to set people up to get robbed. If she wasn't out there trying to set people up to get robbed, she would still be alive to this day. Fuck no, I don't feel bad. She shouldn't be out here doing what the fuck she was doing. Maybe, just maybe, she would still be alive to this day. But that was her decision to do that, and she paid the ultimate price. Let's continue.
How many stories have you seen of women robbing people, drugging them, or having their door kicked in?
Oh, so many times. And Uncle JD even has videos speaking on such matters as well. As I said, this ain't nothing new. This shit's been happening for decades. But let's continue.
The women of today are different. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt because they're women. They're just as dangerous as these YNs are.
Out of the home over and over. Then at least 3 men arrive at the door. One woman walks out. She then tells them to go away.
I was getting alerts.
And let me go back on that.
Then at least 3 men arrive at the door. One woman walks out. She then tells them to go away.
And we can hear her barking orders. Yes, we can hear her barking orders at the three men trying to rob this dude. So we now know for a fact that she was in on the robbery attempt. Fellas, be careful out here. Not all these women will have your best interest. You out here thinking that you're getting lucky? She's out here plotting with other dudes to try to get you set up. Shit. Even Snoop Dogg, when he was rapping for No Limit Records, off his song Top Dollar, what he said? Don't trust that girl, she'll get you set up. I don't know why you put your trust in that girl. Remember what happened to the president? He was getting his dick sucked up in the White House. Y'all haven't heard the song? I'll put that in the comment section too. Let's continue.
I was getting alerts from my phone that they were wanting at my door, and I realized that they was trying to rob me.
The two women were arrested, but the men are still on the run.
The subjects had fled prior to the officers' arrival, and they canvassed the area and were able to locate two females that were involved, and they arrested them. They are not cooperating.
One man's hope for...
And they're not cooperating. You know why? Because these young girls feel loyalty to these stupid males. They feel loyalty to them, even though them guys are going to leave them to deal with the legal ramifications.
I will go even further and say they loyal to the streets. And one thing to know about these streets, the streets have a no snitch policy. But let's just say this: if they don't catch the three dudes that were sitting there trying to rob that man, guess what? They are gonna hit them hard. Yeah, you hear them say they're not cooperating, but guess what? They're gonna hit them hard. If they don't catch them at all, guess who's gonna take the full fall? Oh yeah, you guessed it. Let's continue.
Because they're all caught on tape. One of the guys didn't have a face mask on, so you know they're gonna catch him. It's only a matter of time. Now, once they catch those males, they're gonna start cooperating because once charges because they're all on camera, participating. So it's not she wasn't there, or how do we know she was a part of it? You could see right here on this ring cam, both of them were absolutely a part of it.
So have several seats and shut the fuck up forever trying to question something that's right there dead in front of your face. It's right there in front of your face, but of course you got retarded fucks want to question the shit. Well, as the saying goes, you know there's a builder because there's a building, especially when it's staring right in front of you like the real thing. But let's continue.
So they're going to jail. Ain't no light sentence in here. This is Oklahoma. They're going to make an example out of all of them, and they should.
Relax.
And I stayed at Oklahoma at one point. But y'all know my story out there. And because there's Oklahoma, they gonna hit them hard. No, it ain't no light tap. It's a full uppercut. You do not want to be in trouble with the law enforcement out there in Oklahoma. Let me just go ahead and tell you that shit too. Let's continue.
Christmas, now an unsolved crime. In Newcastle, Abigail Franklin, Oklahoma, News 4.
All right, so if you know who these men are at all, call Newcastle Police.
Yeah, but how are we going to know if y'all not putting names out here?
Exactly.
If y'all not putting these women's names out here, I just can't believe that you're serious about these men being caught. I really don't. The police probably look at this as like, man, you too old to be having these women at your house anyway. And he should have more discernment. You got these two young girls. They look like they might be between the ages of 20 and 22. And you're bringing them to your house. First of all, bringing two women, I've seen way too many stories of two women drugging and robbing men or taking a man's life. We seen a story in Las Vegas where those two girls went to prison for taking a man's life they were trying to rob.
And I made a video on that too. Which goes back to what I said. If it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. And 9 times out of 10, they came on him. They came on to him way too easy. Especially when there's 2 women in this situation. Talk about when it comes to robbing men, and oftentimes results into that man getting murdered. Some reason they're always coming 2s and 3s. And as Uncle JD also stated, trying to get 1 woman to your house is a challenge, but two, and you not big balling at that is suspicious. And they coming on to you way too easy. Question that shit. Ain't no way in hell you could pull 2 women at once. Not 1, but 2 women at once. And believe there's no challenge involved. But I'm going to stop the video right here. I mean, there's way too many cases of these women robbing these men. And oftentimes these men get murdered. And it still goes on today, you see. But as I said, I'm going to put links in the comment section because all these videos will tie together on this. Women setting up men to get robbed, and oftentimes it ends fatal. And this shit's been happening for decades, and it's clear to see that it's not slowing down. No, not at all. But nevertheless, I said what I had to say. Shout out to Jada Black. If y'all want to watch his video in its full entirety, I'll leave the link to his full video in the comment section. Go check it out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I got for tonight. I'm done, and I'm out this bitch. Later.